Plus-size model, blogger, and influencer Frankie Tavares shows what real bravery and body positivity looks like.
You gotta be so good that they can't ignore you, especially the ones that ain't done shit for you. Yeah, you know exactly what I mean. They stab you in the back and then they ask why you're bleeding. I don't trust words, I trust actions. I don't care what you heard, I'm not slacking.
My name is Alan Roberts. This is Everyday Fitness. Like, subscribe, click the notification button over there, share my video, subscribe to my second channel, Alan Roberts. In my opinion, of course, there's going to bumble at the end. Thank you very much. Also, a bumble at the end is this week's discounted rate for Damn Collective Coaching. That's where my wife, myself, and our team help people that could be underweight, overweight, or at what would be considered a healthy weight develop better relationships with food and better accountability skills. If you've ever had trouble with yo-yo dieting, or you have trouble with binge eating and things like that, and you want to develop better accountability skills and coping techniques, you should check that out. So, the reason why we're having this discounted special is that this is day 4 of Obesity Fact Awareness Week. And the reason why we're having Obesity Fact Awareness Week is because some people with almost no morals decided to take the attention away in the last week of what would have been Child Obesity Awareness Month. And they converted the last week into Weight Stigma Awareness Week because, if you can't share, this limelight with children, just boot them out and make it all about you, right? It really is. If you had any part in making, Weight Stigma Awareness Week and you ever used the hashtag or anything like that to, promote it, you should really, go talk to yourself in a mirror and, actually get in touch with yourself. You took the attention away from children. That makes you children yourselves, frankly. I was sent this blog by a plus-size model, influencer, and blogger from Frankie Tavares. Her name is Frankie Tavares. And she has recently gone under some serious medical complications and wrote a blog about it. And I planned on discussing it anyway, but this morning I was actually sent an update from her Instagram. So I wanted to preface this by saying I think this woman is incredibly brave. She understands what true body positivity is, what true acceptance is. She should be given all the support in the world from everybody possible, because she actually, I think, gets it and understands. And I'm just going to read some excerpts out of it. I am going to link the blog in the top pinned comment below. You should go really support her and really support her in her endeavors to change her life, to make herself healthier for her family, because that's what this is about, and that's what it always is about. Earlier this year, I was admitted into critical care for almost 2 weeks. 2 large blood clots were found in my lungs. If you know anything about blood clots, you know they cause fatalities, and quickly, especially in areas like the lungs/heart, etc. The crazier part in all of this is my father died of the same exact thing. The only difference is he was in the hospital, and unfortunately, they still could not save him. Proper medical term is pulmonary embolism. Every time I have to repeat the story to a medical professional, a flood of emotions comes rushing in and I start to cry. Never fails, happens every time, even months later. Do you know what it's like to feel like you've cheated death? I feel like I'm in the movie Final Destination, and every night I wonder if I'm going to wake up. Perfect example as to why I know I'm nowhere near healed. PEs kill more people yearly than HIV, breast cancer, and car accidents combined. And that brings us to day 4's fact for Obesity Fact Awareness Week. DVTs, otherwise known as deep vein thrombosis, and pulmonary embolisms were relatively rare but more common in patients diagnosed with obesity. The numbers: obese patients with pulmonary embolisms is 0.76%, that's 91,000 out of 12 million people, and non-obese patients with pulmonary embolisms is 0.34%, which is 2.4 million of 691 million people. Obese patients with DVTs, deep vein thrombosis, is 2%, 243,000 of 12 million people. Non-obese patients is 0.8%, 5.5 million of 691 million people. Gender and age also had a very high impact on this too. Obesity raised the risk of DVTs and pulmonary embolisms in men and women alike. However, the risk was a bit higher for obese women. Age also mattered. The odds of getting pulmonary embolisms and DVTs were more than 5 times higher for obese patients younger than 40 than for their non-obese peers. Obese women under the age of 40 had a high risk of DVT. They were 6 times as likely as non-obese women under the age of 40 to have a DVT. For men younger than 40, obesity more than tripled the risk of DVT. The realities of the health risks of being obese are just fact. They're not shaming. Me reciting those was not shaming. That is just true. That is me sharing information for people most people don't even know about. These things can happen to people that think they're otherwise completely healthy and happen quickly, as is seen in her blog. Although most of the feedback has been positive, I have had some negativity on my page. I can confidently say, in the past, the haters and shade throwers typically stayed away or watched from afar quietly. However, I did receive some messages. In particular, I received a message from a woman telling me she no longer, quote-unquote, relates to me, so she is unfollowing me. Of course, the message had more details, including me being a, quote-unquote, sellout, etc., but for the sake of her getting too much airtime, let's keep it short. Initially, not going to lie, that stung. It really did. I have grown close to a lot of my supporters in the last couple of years, even though we've never met, and they may be halfway across the world somewhere. The fact that I am still a woman, an advocate, and my page still is about fashion, love, life, and family clearly didn't matter to her. The fact that I answered probably 90% of my DMs, give out advice on anything under the sun that is asked of me, respond to all comments, and even personally help find those special occasion outfits you asked for my opinion on. Newsflash, I didn't magically wake up with amnesia and forget how it felt to be bigger. The struggle to find nice clothes and to live in a bigger body, excuse me. That didn't matter in the slightest. What I look like now makes me unrelatable. After that message, and at that point, I promised myself not to get upset about who or what stays around through this journey. It would be a never-ending battle that I could never win, nor do I have the strength or interest to even fight. This new journey is about much more than just, quote, being skinny, end quote. You'll never see a, quote, before and after, end quote, photo of me that I created because there is no comparison. I was bomb then and proud. I am not skinny, nor do I ever think I will be, and that is not or will ever be the end goal. I don't post pictures at the gym or my meal plans. I'm not promoting weight loss pills all of a sudden or complaining about how I hated myself before. This is not about that. Crazy thing is, when I was at that size, 18/20, I was ridiculed for being, quote, pretty fat, the acceptable fat, end quote. Now I'm being ignored the most by those who advocate, quote unquote, diversity. Slowly getting kicked out of the fat girls club, quote, you can sit with us, end quote, as long as you stay the size we deem acceptable. Screw that and the clique that you rock with. I've gotten messages from influencers, blog models, and bloggers more than anyone, expressing their concerns with, quote, losing their audience and clout, end quote, with the plus size community if they drop some weight. Some have not been able to conceive due to their weight. Some can't travel as much as they want to. Some have real ailments and complications. Some just don't feel good in their skin anymore, yet they are sacrificing all of that to feel accepted. It's ridiculous and sad. We have to do better as a quote-unquote community who fights for inclusion while simultaneously excluding people. That blog on her website, which again I'm going to link in the comments below, is from September 27th, and I found it to be very empowering. I found it to be very realistic. I found it to be very real-world talk. This woman seemed to accept herself and really did. If you read the entire blog, because that's not the entirety of her blog, I didn't want to read the whole thing to you. I want you to go read it for yourselves. I want you to go visit her website, read it for yourselves, check out what she has to say, follow her. She is a very brave person, because as she said, and is what is customary, whenever a plus-size model or an obese person, for that matter, who is considered in the fat acceptance community, quote-unquote fat acceptance, because they really don't accept people, they're often ostracized and you're trolled, and they are seen as traitors when they are just trying to be healthy. There have been many instances where somebody from the fat acceptance community needed to get healthy for a very serious medical condition, and people have turned on them. This woman, her knowledge has not changed about what is fashionable. She is just trying to be healthier for her family, as she lists off later on the blog, which you should really read that blog. I found it extremely touching. And when I read it, I totally planned on making a video, and then I was sent this from her stories this morning. Thank you to everyone who reached out. I appreciate you all. My family, my friends, for your texts and calls. I'm out of surgery, stable and recovering / moving and shaking now. Unfortunately, back on blood thinners for some time. This all honestly feels like a never-ending battle, but I'm hoping this is the end. I didn't think I'd have part 2 of my latest blog, but it's coming. It's hard to share these personal moments with you guys, but I'm realizing after speaking up and getting responses from so many of you that pulmonary embolisms are prevalent in our community. The topics of how weight does attribute or is the leading factor to a lot of health issues is so taboo to speak about in this community. It's not all pretty pictures and nice clothes. This is real life shit. A lot of people don't survive this, and I'm living proof it can happen to a clean bill of health, quote unquote, seemingly normal person. My health went downhill in less than a year. It's not everybody's story, but it's mine, and I'm going to tell it. And you can bet your ass I'm going to read it. More people need to speak out. More of these influencers that have reached out to her need to speak out. Reality needs to enter. It is perfectly fine to want to love yourself. Love how you look. If you love how you look bigger, that is great. Just make sure you're healthy. I understand that the way I present things often may upset some people. I like telling things very bluntly. I like telling things to get my point across because sometimes people need shaken into reality. This woman is extremely brave because I'm not risking anything. The people that are just going to dislike me are going to dislike me. They are closed off to facts. They are closed off to reality. They are closed off to the fact that I am trying to help people live longer lives and spend longer times with their families. I always say the goal should be 90 years old, holding hands with the person you love, watching the sun go down over the ocean in rocking chairs. You know, having seen great grandchildren born. That should be everybody's goal. It absolutely should. If you're willing to trade cake for that, I don't know what to tell you. But life is very short. Life is very finite. Enjoying a piece of cake will not take the place of memories down the road. It just won't. You will regret it. There will be regret. This woman is a mother of 3 children, a loving wife. From what I can tell, she loved her life before. She loved how she looked before. She is just making choices to be healthy, and more people need to speak up. More members of this fat acceptance community who want to lose weight for their health, who want to just be healthier, need to speak up because factually, being obese is unhealthy for you. Factually. So while I know this is a more sombering and more serious video than I normally do, because I do normally try to have screamy, yelly stuff and try to incorporate much more of, you know, the kind of shock value, I wanted to give my deepest and most heartfelt, myself and my wife, wanted to give our most deepest and heartfelt wishes to this young woman, to Frankie Tavares, on her continued recovery, and just to say thank you for the message that she brought across. And that's just my 2 cents in the matter. My name is Alan Roberts. Hit me up on Instagram at Everyday Fitness. Hit me up on Twitter at Everyday Fit. I'm also on Facebook at Everyday Fitness. And I'm on the internet at everydamndayfitness.net. Voices of reason need to speak up. Goddamn.